Welcome to Mystical Messages. I am Hilary Harley, your podcast host. I am a soul guide and astrologer. Mystical Messages is your podcast gateway to discover and learn about the realm beyond the veil, including all things intuitive, metaphysical, and the healing arts. To learn more about my work or to book a session with me, please visit hilaryharley.com. Today, I am so delighted to bring you my monthly astrology forecast. We will be breaking down the astrology for the month of July 2022. So you may know that the month of July is ruled by the sign Cancer the Crab. And the moon, our mother moon that revolves around our beloved Earth, rules Cancer the Crab. So the moon only gains its light from the sun. Our mother moon does not have light of its own. It is only seen because of reflected light from the sun. And so the sign of Cancer the Crab is a water sign, and water is reflective, and it is ruled by the moon, which is reflective. So this is a very pensive, contemplative, and reflective sign, Cancer the Crab. So I've called this forecast for July of 2022 Mirror, Mirror, because we're looking at reflections of ourselves, of each other, of what we see in life. The moon rules the month of July and Cancer the Crab, and the moon is a great big, gigantic reflector of light, of the sun's rays. Cancer is also a water sign, and water reflects. So likewise, this month, each of us has our reflectors on, mirroring back to others all that we perceive. If you have ever done a mirroring exercise or simply taken a good hard look at yourself in the mirror, we do not always like what we see. And sometimes, too, we can be happily surprised at our reflection. Our eye catches the reflection in the mirror, and we pause, seeing calm, strength, grace, or perhaps a certain power that we did not expect. It is no accident that during the first full-fledged month of summer, July finds us moving slower and pacing ourselves differently than during the rest of the hurried and harried year. And while none of the interpersonal planets are retrograde during July 2022, we are now moving on moon time, a definite shift, downshift into lower gear. Cancer energy saunters and glides. It dives deep for delectables beneath the surface. She rarely races around or rushes to anything. She takes her time collecting and integrating what she comes across. Cancerian energy is magic moonlight, bathing us invitingly in warm, delicious rays that form our most cherished memories. You will recall such memories creating sandcastles with children on a beloved beach, snuggling under the covers with loved ones, baking sugar cookies with grandma during the holidays. Memories like these surface in private hidden moments and surely before we take flight to heaven. So July unfolds just after a new moon. Fresh energy develops to grow what we want more of in our lives. Generous Jupiter aligns to a festive Leo moon to kick off the July 4th weekend on Friday, July 1st. This is time to get your fun on. We're game for anything, especially as Messenger Mercury connects to Saturn in Aquarius. You are connected and you are the connector. Pay attention this holiday weekend to who and what comes your way. It might be a vacation weekend, but precious people and information may land in your lap. File away what crosses your radar until you are ready to explore and fully vet potential possibilities as Neptune challenges Mercury during this same time. You will need to do your homework and learn whether opportunities are the real deal or just smoke and mirrors. Speaking of mirrors, the theme song for this forecast, Messenger Mercury joins the Sun in reflective Cancer on Monday, July 5th. It connects to motivating Mars very helpfully, which also shifts into earthy Taurus on the exact same day. This is a much needed grounding and practical alliance between Mercury and Mars, particularly after the epic violence of June when Mars was moving through fiery Aries. Now working together, our minds and motivation imagine and deliver practical solutions we demand. We can certainly use all the help we can get. So take advantage of this useful energy during the week after July 4th. Not only can you get a lot accomplished, but you will find answers to long-standing questions or concerns. Solutions and answers abound as long as you are open to try new paths and strategies to reach across what divides you from other people. The Sun challenges healer Chiron while Mercury boxes with Jupiter, catalyzing us to just do something, anything to get to yes. The old days of the old guard refusing to budge are rapidly ending. We can all hear the kicking and screaming of those being dragged into the future. Make sure you're not one of them. Taskmaster Saturn in Aquarius demands change for the greatest good and the collective benefit, while it duels with Uranus and the North Node in Taurus, ruling personal values. Whether over gun rights, gun control, right to life, the right to choose, a stolen election, or a government coup, the struggle is real. Our national push and pull showdown is on this July. Often forgotten, Cancer rules the homeland, our nation. Your personal values are the nation's values. As the individual and family goes, so goes our country. Our struggle gyrates to peak torque by mid-month. The full moon in Capricorn on Wednesday, July 13th, is tied to powerful Pluto, opposite Sun and Mercury in Cancer. Get it in gear, people, is the message of this full moon. The time for fooling around is now long over. This especially includes unnecessary power plays and drama. Any backroom or backhanded manipulations are reflected and seen in Cancer's gigantic mirror, witnessed by everyone. The sun and moon represent our respective father and mother astrologically, and boy, have these parents had enough. This is one tough love, Mother Moon, and she is deadly serious. Pluto is power. The Capricorn Pluto full moon is ruthless. It cuts losses, shores up resources, sets stiff limits and boundaries, and does not care whose toes it steps on or who it offends. Whining and crying will do you no good. If you are not towing the line, minding your business, and doing the work at hand, you will be shown in unmistakably glaring terms what must be done to get your house in order. Cancer rules the home, family, and yes, our national family. You are either an example of good, solid work and ethic, or you will be made an example of. But the great news is, for those invested in love and right over might, Pluto bestows tremendous power. Those who show up and are on path will shine now. Loosely aligning to the lunar north node and Uranus, Pluto bears heavyweight windfalls for otherwise invisible people who put their nose to the grindstone. Do the right thing day in and day out with no expectation for award or reward. The question is, will you be one of them? Reverberations follow in the wake of this immensely strong full moon. You may feel as though you've been through the spin cycle of your washing machine. So take some time the weekend of July 16th and 17th to let the dust settle. We are in the final days of the sun's tour through Cancer when she sends her strongest supportive energy, helping us to stand on our own 2 feet. Think of the baby bird being pushed out of the nest, and you get the sense of the stretch between July 18th, between July 13th and 18th. We know it is time to evolve and grow. With that comes trepidation, and for some, fear. So remember, fear is an acronym for false evidence appearing real. It is time to fly, one and all. Easing our transitions, great and little, valuable Venus turns into Cancer the Crab on Monday, July 18th. Gear shifts are afoot, as though passing a runner's relay baton. The sun concludes its cycle in the sign of comfort and compassion, and then hands it off to Venus, who picks it up and begins her passage. Here, Venus extends Cancerian warmth and care toward our relationships, especially family. Family matters take precedence and center stage at the end of July, including matters concerning relatives, your house, home, residence, dwelling, food, nurturing, ancestors, real estate. Remember your own self-care as well, because we often put ourselves last. So factor time in for your own care and wellness. The next day, July 19th, Messenger Mercury shifts into Look at Me, Leo. Creative and festive with mouth and message. Leo Mercury is the child or inner child who will be heard. He also intends to have a really good time while he's at it. He's joined by the Sun entering Leo on Saturday, July 23rd, and the party is on the third week of July. We are game for anything as Mercury aligns to generous Jupiter in Aries. Step aside, caution, because here comes the fun, F-U-N. Try anything just once. You may surprise yourself at how much you enjoy whatever it is. If you are planning a wedding or other happenings the weekend of July 23rd and 24th, the energy is ripe for joy. Try paying in advance for activities as you want to wake up the following Monday full of fun afterglow rather than facing sizable bills. The cost of life weighs heavily on us all right now. It is meted out at the new moon in Leo on Thursday, July 28th. Although the Sun and Moon align to generous Jupiter, it is worthwhile noting here that Jupiter turns retrograde at the same time of the new moon, suggesting that we use the power of intention with particular due regard, especially as Messenger Mercury opposes taskmaster Saturn, and both challenge Uranus, Mars, and the North Node in Taurus. On the surface, our ideas are way bigger than our pocketbook. We're going to have to dig deep, both morally, mentally, emotionally, and financially, to pay for what we value. Underneath, however, there is real work to do. We're required to buckle in and take a deep dive into our priorities, focus on common ground, and build a plan from there, from what unites us together. It is all visible in the mirror that Cancer the Crab holds up for us to reflect upon. The shared love we have for our children, safe homes, secure schools, and peaceful neighborhoods. Look in the mirror now. What do you see? That brings us to the end of this episode of Mystical Messages. To learn more about my work or to book a session with me, please visit hilaryharley.com. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Please join me again in 2 weeks. Well, I will bring you my very special guest, Leah Goldman of Fika Coaching. She is an equine coach and human developer. I wish you many blessings as you journey forward.